expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Breathe it! Breathe it! Breathe it! Breathe it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! Breathe it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this kind of the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You ought to make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Breathe it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, and streaming live on KYOKradio.org. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday, and again, what a weekend. What a weekend. Big shout out to Leah Brown. Hey, Leah. Keith Hennick, what's going on? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Leah, I got to tell you, man, I need some services. Leah. She said, I made it first. Yes, you did. Hold on. Let me give a big love to that. Keith Hennick, hey, AJ, and the Lunch Breakers. I'm not going to fib. Can I just be transparent for a minute? Saturday evening, I unplugged from everything, including sports. And I literally said, Friday night. I unplugged from everything, including sports. And I said, it's the blacklist for me. It's like the blacklist and sweet potato juice for me. So I just had to unplug, man. Had to unplug. So much going on. When you think of all that happened last week, man, it was a lot. Not just in sports world, but in the world. And every now and then you got to do the whole self-care thing. That's not a buzz phrase. That's not a catchphrase. Self-care is not the latest, greatest thing. It should be an everyday thing. If you don't care for yourself, who else will? And if you just keep hitting the gas, going down the same street, eventually you're going to run out of gas or you're going to run into something. Every now and then you got to hit your brakes. Every now and then you got to pull over and gas up. So had to do it Friday. The Blacklist was very good. How many of you all watched The Blacklist? Raymond Reddington is my guy. Raymond Reddington gets, who is it? Raymond who? Raymond Reddington. What? Get in here before somebody sees you. What are you doing? What's up? What are we working on today? Who's on the Blacklist today? Sit down. You want something to eat? Yeah. I'm gonna treat Raymond Reddington like he's from New Orleans, Louisiana. Like he's from Vacherie. Like he's from Bow Bridge. You know, I'm just telling you, every now and then you got to treat somebody like they from Louisiana, down south, and you're going to get offended if they don't eat your food. So Leah says, I'm ready for you. Don't play. I'll call you on the show. We'll do a live session right here on the show. Don't play. Don't play with me. But I love that show. I love that show. I know a lot of people, I don't have time for TV. Good for you. That's one of my unwind things. And I turned it on something that was not sports related. Me covering sports is like, stress sometimes, especially when it's the Astros, Rockets, Texans. I'm yelling at the TV more than I'm yelling at, some driver in traffic. So I decided to unplug, go, just the Blacklist. One of the better shows. I enjoy that one. I know they're on season like number 99, but I love every bit of it. I love every bit of it. So what's your unwind show? Now, if you're not a TV watcher, don't comment. I don't watch TV, but I unwind doing this. I want to talk to the people who unwind with a TV show. And let me just say this for the record. You all love the Lord. You're all holy and great. Don't feel bad if you tell me you watch The Walking Dead. That's your unwind TV show. You're all right with me. This ain't church service. It's the lunch break, all right? It's a safe space. So somebody tell me what your unwind TV show is, and I want to know because I might pick up a new show. I heard that is it a TV show or is it a movie? Them. What is that? Is that a TV show or a movie? Willie Gibson says Good Times. Willie, good show. Long before its time. That movie was that TV show was in time when it was out, and it would be in time if it was now. Loved it. JJ, Thelma, Michael, Mom, Dad, Thelma, Janet Jackson, Booker, the maintenance guy. Loved every bit of it. Hey, Dory Brown. Yes, I need another sweet potato cake. Of course. Dory, how do I love this and make an order all at the same time? Dory Brown from our sister station up in San Antonio, KCHL, AM 1480 and 92.1, asking me if I need another sweet potato cake. That was the best cake in the world. I was a little reluctant because I love sweet potato pie. And now you're taking something like out of this world and trying to make it better. And she made it better. It was just phenomenal. And she mailed it to me. And it was still good. That was a guilty pleasure. That was one of those where my kids looked at it and I said, don't touch it. Don't even look at it. You're not getting any. Go to your room. Go sit down somewhere. Go ahead. It's like, well, I want some. Well, good luck. Here, let me give you this lady's number. You call her, you order it. Use your allowance and order your own cake. You ain't getting none of this. Dory Brown. Absolutely. We will talk later. I mean it. All right, Keith Hennick said, try a novel. Keith, I'm an avid reader. I read like 5 things at a time. And one of them, whatever grabs my attention is what I'll finish reading. And then I'll go back to the other 4 and try and find what will grab my attention from there. So yeah, I'm an avid reader. All right, so see, y'all are doing it. Give me your relaxing TV show. Minister Larry Scott said, a few good men, the have and the have-nots. I was into the have and the have-nots when it first came out, and then I fell off. I don't know where I fell off, but I fell off. A Few Good Men is a great, great, great movie. That one is one of those ones like 8 Mile and The Matrix. I can watch them all over again like they're brand new movies. So Minister Larry Scott, I'm with you on that. Let's see. Who else? Nobody hit me with a good TV show there other than Larry Scott. Anybody watching The Oval or Sisters? I haven't gotten into either one of those yet. Tyler Perry TV shows. I watched Saints and Sinners last night. That was different. That's like a nighttime soap opera on the Bounce Network. That was All My Children, Days of Our Lives, and General Hospital all wrapped into one. You know what I mean? With some soul mixed into it. Hey, David Baptiste, what's up, bro? So yeah, those were my That was my unplug. I understand the Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Angels over the weekend, but Ohtani, good God, that dude is unreal. He hit almost a 450-foot home run to straight center field. It was one of those when it left the bat, you're looking for the replacement ball. Yeah, can I get another ball? That one ain't coming back. That dude was out of this world. But the Astros took 2 out of 3. However, they lost 4-2 yesterday because Ohtani was just yanking him out of the yard. Dude was yanking him out of the yard. So anyway, let's see. Monique Mosley said, I love Chicago, Med, Fire, and PD. I heard all 3 of those were good. And I know they do crossover events where like one story will start on one show and they'll go across the spectrum. So yeah, I heard those. I haven't gotten into those either. Yet. Yeah. So when it's a getaway TV show, when it's a TV show is my getaway, it's got to be like a sure deal. It can't be, I don't know if this is going to be good or not. It's got to take me away. And The Blacklist does that for me. The Blacklist rarely disappoints. Raymond Reddington all by himself. I liked him in Boston Legal. I liked him in something else he was in. I mean, that dude is a good actor. That dude is a great actor. I just love his dry humor. I love his acting. It's almost like it's not acting for him. It's like he's channeling that character. And I like that because I don't have to be, AJ, the sports broadcaster or sports broadcast journalist or the sports director when I'm watching Raymond Reddington. It's like, yo, Doc, do your thing. Who we going after today? And he's always got these one-liners that are just out of this world. Like, oh yeah, and he's very well studied. Manifest is another good one. David Baptiste said, I also like Manifest. I've seen some of that. I like sci-fi stuff. So if it's sci-fi, space, aliens, zombies, stuff that, doesn't happen, or if it does happen, we don't officially know about it. I like that. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, we gotta have that kind of stuff for it to be a good getaway for me. I gotta have that kind of stuff. So anyway, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. If you want to get in, it is truly the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Winning Wednesday. I got a lot I have to cover today. So if you want in, hit me up. You can also text me unless you're talking about something I need to, I need to hear your actual voice. If that's the case, then you got to call me, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000 on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. All right, we'll be right back right after this message.
The big telecom companies have let Texans down. The COVID-19 crisis has shown how much we need reliable, high-speed internet connections. But for years, companies like AT&T, Frontier, and Verizon have been putting wealthy communities at the front of the line when they decide where to build next-generation networks. Joe Biden's plan for rebuilding our economy includes investing in high-speed internet, not just for wealthy suburbs and high-income neighborhoods.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we are giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won.
No, the battle is not over on our right to vote. The governor and lieutenant governor of Texas are leading the charge to suppress the right to vote of African Americans and other populations in Texas. The pending legislation is nothing short of updated Jim Crow voter suppression laws. These laws will make voting in Texas harder, not safer, and are clearly intended to suppress minority voter turnout and undermine the ability of local election officials to encourage voter participation. Let's mobilize and start a movement against this racist legislation. Let's call 512-463-0733 and tell them, don't suppress my vote. Vote against House Bill 6 and Senate Bill 7.
Fight on to the finish.
Legislative advertising paid for by the Communications Workers of America Working Forces Claude Cummings Jr. agent.
You're having your lunch on the lunch break with KYOK.
All right, y'all. We're just one nation under a groove, getting down because we need to. I mean, we got to do it. We got to get this thing together, man. I cannot emphasize enough the unity we got to find in these times right here. So I came in today, man, really just trying to keep it light. Really just trying to keep it light because there is, again, so much going on. Let me see. Somebody said a million little things or a million things is also good as well. And I know there's some who love that show, This Is Us. I think I watched season number 1 and I couldn't get it after that. I love the actors and the storylines and all that, but I don't know. It lost me. This Is Us. Yeah. I need sci-fi. I need some zombies. I need some real creative writing like The Blacklist. You know, I need something creative. Again, it's my getaway show, so it's got to be a hit. It's got to be something that's like, oh, man, I'm glad I took an hour to sit down and watch that. So, you know, if I'm going to get a tearjerker, it's got to be in the middle of some action. Like they had to blow something up or hold something hostage or something like that. And The Blacklist does that for me. The Blacklist does that for me. That was my go-to. I needed to get away on Friday. I didn't want to be watching sports. Didn't want to watch the Astros. I didn't want to fool with the NBA. And again, I found my way to The Blacklist, and it was good. It was good. Elizabeth Keene, or whatever her last name is, she's something else. She's something else. Do you ever watch a show and you're like, man, I can't wait till they catch you, or I can't wait till they get you? Like, I just can't wait till they get you. Like that's. I watch some of those shows like that too, especially when it's a long-term villain and they seem to keep getting away with it. I'm like, oh yeah, episode 29, they gonna get you, and I can't wait. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, Dre, how you feel, man?
With my hands. How you?
Oh, everything is beautiful in its own way, brother. Hey, man, I don't know what the scoop is, man. I've been in and out of my truck, but is it wide open or what? Or is it Monday? Or, I mean, what you got going, bro?
Yeah, it's wide open. It's Media Monday, and I was talking about needing to unplug on Friday. So instead of watching sports and the news, I ended up watching The Blacklist.
Oh, okay.
I know you don't watch TV Greatest because you're the greatest. I understand that.
Well, sometimes you got to get away. You know, you got to get away from the gig. But it's something that's kind of troubling me, brother Jones.
Speak your piece, brother. Speak your
You got to
piece.
take a commercial break or what?
I got a commercial break in about 3 minutes, so you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Okay, COVID-19 is real. The pandemic is still going on, right?
Yep.
Okay, I was watching, and it was for a good cause, man. I've seen all the athletes this past weekend coming together and stuff. Some of the rappers are playing dodgeball and stuff for a good cause. But man, ain't nobody got on a mask, Andre. And then, okay, and then also this past weekend they had to cancel several SWAT games, football games because of COVID. And my question is, I mean, do the young, and I used to be young and naive too, so I'm not totally innocent, but I guess this the 60-year-old greatest talking now, not the 20-year-old. But man, we see every day 500 and some thousand people that died from this disease, and I'm looking at the young, but ain't nobody wearing the mask. What's up, Dre?
So I think it's a number of things. Number one, there are people that are just over it. Like, man, we spent all of 2020 inside, and we ain't doing that no more. 2021, we're going outside. That's number one. Number two, you got people that just don't believe it. Like, this ain't a real thing. This is the media. Like, if I hear somebody say the media, I mean, I said I was going to keep it light today. The media ain't out there shooting people. The media is not out there creating COVID-19. The media is not out there creating the number of deaths for COVID-19. The media is reporting it. They're not creating it. The media didn't create racism. And everybody just wants to blame the media. And it's just like, avoiding the real problem to have a villain that you can blame. So your lack of effort doesn't get exposed. So that's number two. And then number three, there are people who feel like if I do get it, the survival rate is very high. There's only, 1-2% of the people that are actually dying from it. But when you're up in 570,000 people, it's a real thing, and you need to take that lightly. And then you got young people that feel invincible. That ain't gonna happen to me. I'll be all right. So I think it's all of the above.
Yeah, and real quick, I think I know people want to go to the games and stuff. But I think they pushing it too fast. I think maybe let 20% of the fans, but I've seen some places where you got 75%, man. They're going to be another super spread like it is up in
the Texas Rangers are 100%. The Texas Rangers are full capacity at their stadium. I can't stand them. I don't like them. I'll report their score, and that's it.
Yeah, well, it might be make-believe to you, but to me and Andre is real. COVID-19 is the real deal. Rumble, young man, rumble.
All right, greatest. You know what? I gotta take a break. But when I come back, I just heard somebody do that on another TV show, and I'll tell you what it is when I come back on the legendary KYOK All New 92.3 FM. It's Media Monday. We'll talk about sports right after this.
Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire. Located at 3126 Tidwell, between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell, between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on The Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's Media Monday, and first day back. Had to take Friday off. Had a community event I had to be at, and appreciate all the y'all that checked in and supported, the event that we had going on. Definitely appreciated that. Glad to be back though. Took a little time off Friday evening from sports, and I was talking about TV shows that get you away. Longhorn Keith said the blacklist is, and he's got fire emojis. Yeah, I agree, Keith. I agree. No argument with me there. Love it. The greatest was just on Call of the Year 2018, and he and I, when before he goes off, he does a rhyme, and then he says, "Rumble, young man, rumble." So earlier on my way in, was still in that mode. I had a TV show on as I was getting ready to come into the studio, and it was called The Godfather of Harlem. The Godfather of Harlem, starring Forrest Whitaker as the late, great Bumpy Johnson. And also in the movie are characters depicting Malcolm X and, of course, Muhammad Ali. And the time period is right when Cassius Clay was about to convert over to Islam and become a Muslim, and therefore change his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. Well, his spiritual advisor was none other than Malcolm X. And there's a scene in the movie where Malcolm comes, or in the TV show, where Malcolm comes into the gym right before he fights the champ. I think Sonny Liston, right before he fights the champ. And everybody's thinking that, the champ is going to, shut the very outspoken and bodacious Cassius Clay up. And Angelo Dundee tells Malcolm he's got to go because he's going to distract his fighter and all of that. Nation of Islam is saying that Malcolm's out of order from even being there. And then they cut to a TV clip where Cassius Clay tells his trainer or one of his handlers to come in the ring. And he says something to the effect of, if you want to lose some green, then you got to vote against, me being mean or something like that. He says, "Rumble, young man, rumble." And they did it right there on the TV show. And I said, greatest, they stealing our stuff. Sonny Liston, yeah, the greatest, they stealing our stuff. Now, mind you, we took it from them, but it was just good to see that in the TV show. So anyway, that's another good one. If you're looking for a get your mind away from some stuff TV show, Godfather of Harlem is a good one. Forrest Whitaker is a great actor. Forrest Whitaker is a great actor. In fact, y'all remember when we did our final four of our brackets of serials, kids serials? We ought to do a final four of TV shows and great actors. Actors. I'm not saying the actresses can't be in. We'll do actors and actresses. I'm doing that because what big award show did they just have? The Oscars. And did Chadwick Boseman get robbed? Did they pull a Rams versus Saints on Chadwick Boseman where he got roughed up and they didn't throw a flag on it? How in the world can you tell me Chadwick Boseman did not win Male Actor of the Year for his role in what was What was the name of the show where he was the musician? Y'all help me out. Y'all know I don't know shows. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Boudini Brown. Was that his name in the show? Bozeman was robbed. You're absolutely right. He was. That's why I don't watch those kind of shows anymore. Again, when I take a break and watch TV, I'm not looking to get all riled up even more than when I took a break to watch TV. That's why The Blacklist, Godfather of Harlem, The Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. Listen, let me just free somebody's mind real quick. Let me free somebody's mind real quick. Snowfall is better than Power, FYI. Snowfall is better than Power. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But for those who know what I'm talking about, don't at me. It's already been proven. Snowfall is better than Power. So I need some Snowfall. I need some Queen of the South. Those kind of shows take my mind off of things. Yeah, Black Bottom. But there was a lady's name in it. There was a lady. What was that lady's name? Let me Google this. I don't know why I act like I don't have Google right here. Chadwick Boseman movies. Yeah, I forgot he was in the Okay, here we go. This is what it was called. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Good movie. Great movie. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was a great movie. And Chadwick Boseman, for the simple fact that he was acting with terminal cancer, should have won the Male Actor of the Year. Should have won it. But no. And then from what I understand, the Oscars were, we love black people all throughout the award show until they got to the end. Until they got to the final two categories or whatever. So anyway, I don't watch those shows. If that's not accurate, don't at me. At them. So anyway. All right, so here's a sports update since, sports show, got to talk sports. Rockets losing streak is up to 5 in a row. They lost to the Clippers on Friday night, the night I unplugged. And then they turned around and lost to Denver on Saturday. Now, they weren't blowout losses, but still. The Rockets had 8 healthy players on Saturday. 8. They only played 7 of them. Like they had to save that last guy for the starting rotation tomorrow when they host Minnesota. Let me just give my personal, professional sports director, sports broadcast journalism of the Rockets. I'm okay if they lose them all. For all the way to the end, right now, if they don't win another one, I'm all right with that. Listen. I'm looking at the Rockets' record right now. And I'm okay if they go ahead and lose the rest of them. I know y'all don't want to hear that. Oh, AJ, you don't want them to tank. Yeah, I do. Right now, they've got the worst record in the West, and they got the worst record in basketball. Rockets do right now. They're 15-46. They're 2 games behind the Timberwolves for the number 14 spot. Just stay right there. Rockets. If you're going to be good, then be good. If you're going to rebuild, then rebuild. Don't kind of rebuild. Don't be trying to get up in the top 10 so you can, play into the playoffs and end up getting ousted in the first round. We'll need that. The city needs a full-blown rebuild. And if the Rockets go ahead and go 15 and they play, 72 games? So 15-57, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. You might not be, but I'm okay with that. That will ensure they get the number 1 pick in the draft and they're going to get a great player. Somebody to come in as a rook and just give the team, the city, something to get excited about. No more James Harden. No more Batman and Robin. You know, they had James Harden and Dwight Howard. They had James Harden and Chris Paul. They had James Harden and Russell Westbrook. No more of that. Excuse me. Now it's somebody else's show. And I love John Wall. I'm happy for his comeback story. But they need somebody young and exciting and, you know, that can just give this city and this franchise, you know, their next Hakeem Olajuwon type player. I'm not talking about from skill and ability. There's only one dream. There's only one dream. That the dream shake, there's only one dream. But it's time for the city to transition into a whole new direction. It's almost like every one of the franchises here need a new face of the franchise. It's just time. And I'm okay if the Rockets go ahead and finish with the worst record in basketball, get their, you know, a new face of the franchise, similar to what Philadelphia did without doing it the way Philadelphia did it. Like Philadelphia tried to lose them all for like 5 years in a row. Don't need that. Don't need that. But if the Rockets get a brand new, young, fresh face who's going to come in here and embrace the city and give it his all and can, you know, team up with Christian Wood and Jason Tate and Kevin Porter Jr. and Kenyon Martin Jr., and those guys, and I let me just tell you something. I want Kelly Olynyk back. That's just me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I know y'all want the James Hardens and the big name play. Give me a young, fresh. Let's go. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Brother AJ Ferdinand.
Hey, Ferdinand.
AJ, back in the day, man, to me, today, it seems like the talent has changed. Normally, back in the day, you have 5, 6, 7 guys, AJ, that was truly, truly talented. And you could always, you know, teams were just competitive. I mean, week in, week out, they stayed competitive. Even if they wasn't winning championships, AJ, it's like when we marched toward the, you know, championship, man, you had teams going at it, you know, Utah. They didn't win in the championship, but man, John Stockton, Karl Malone, man, 2 guys, man. I mean, that just had it on. So the thing about the Rockets is, man, we've never seen them like this. I mean, this is the worst we've seen them. You know, Morey, he always kept the team competitive, but like I said, when he left, and then when the Russ and James Harden situation left, it was trying to keep it competitive. But James didn't want to be anymore, so Boogie didn't work out. John Wall, he's holding on by dear life, so it's a total rebuild. And so I think they have to go back to the basics, man. We got to find 3 big men and, shooting guard and a point guard. You got to have structure. Right now, the Rockets, they don't have the chemistry that they need to stay competitive. So I'm not going to really beat them up, man. It's just like we've seen them now to where, look, this is a total rebuild situation. It's past ugly. But I'd go ahead and rebuild. Silas, I hate, we have to come in on situations such as this, man. But you can't beat them up. You need a first-round pick, and you need to start now utilizing picks as they come. Stop getting rid of your picks. Change the format. And then, hey, find you some structure, make it competitive, and keep it competitive. But you got to do better scouting, and you got to get guys in here that can back up, AJ. Not only your 5, but behind them. You need the 7. You need 5 guys, and then you need the guys that you're bringing in that is almost as good as the ones that you have in your starting 5.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I know, that's a little harder to do than it was back in the day because, back in the day, folks don't realize that, teams didn't always just draft a bunch of, starting 5 superstars. They developed players. They developed players around Michael. They developed players around Magic. They developed players around Bird. And yeah, these were big name guys, but they were developed and they gelled well together. They had chemistry and they played hard for each other. Not saying that we don't have that today, but I just don't feel like the coaches today even have the time to develop players like they did back in the past.
Well, that's why you have more than one coach.
Right.
You not only have,
Ferdinand, hold that thought. Let me do a quick break. I want to come back to your thoughts on that. We'll be right back. Media Monday on the lunch break.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. We know this is a hard time for you, and this fund has been set up by the federal government to help ease your pain. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. All legal fees are only covered once you receive your money. So if you've lost a loved one due to COVID-19, call the legal helpline right now to find out if you qualify for a cash award. Here's our number, 800-876-7047, 800-876-7047, 800-876-7047. That's 800-876-7047. Paid for by the IPG Law Group.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we're giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having Exciting Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all do 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, Finu Pying on Media Monday. And Ferdinand, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying that's why you have multiple coaches.
Yes, AJ, you have to have multiple coaches. Everything doesn't fall on Steve Silas. One thing about any sport, AJ, when you get a lead, especially in basketball, for the Rockets, you get a 15-point lead. Man, you got to learn how to keep a lead. So if they wasn't keeping a lead in the beginning, look, the coaches have to come up with a plan. Look, Doc, you get a 15-minute lead. What do you do, AJ? When your three-point shot stops, you feed the ball inside, work your big man. You go in, you drive, you're going to create a foul. You got to find other ways in order to keep your lead. But if there's no, you have to have a plan. And to me, the Rockets right now, they planning is just not on one accord. But like I said, when you got multiple coaches, you got to find what's wrong with your team. What can I do to make this ball club at least try to get better for next year? Let me work on some things. Let me change up my starting five, because you already know who's going to be there and who's not going to be there. The thing about it is you got to find chemistry. Who plays together in the first group? Who plays together good in the second group? You got to switch and swap because you have absolutely nothing right now, AJ. So you got to revamp your plan.
Yeah, I really do like some of the pieces the Rockets have right now. Like I said, with Deshaun Tate, with of course the young man Kevin Porter Jr. I like Kenyon Martin Jr. A lot of folks don't realize you give that young man more minutes, you're gonna get more production. And then when you add in the possibilities, so the mock drafts, and I don't like mock drafts, but if the Rockets hold on to the number one pick, they're probably going to get this guy, Cade Cunningham, out of Oklahoma State. He's 6'8", and they've got him listed as a shooting guard / point guard. He averages 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and he shoots 40% from the 3. I mean, when you got a big guard like that who can play the guard, both of the guard spots, and even some of the 3, you got some versatility there. You're not going to be in trouble when you switch and when you have to, switch on defense and stuff like that. And he's going to be a problem on offense. I would love to see a young face like that come in here and be that guy to, kind of win the city over and lead this franchise into a new era.
AJ, we need height in Houston. That guy's versatile. That's what you need. You need guys right now that can play several positions and strong, at least 2, if not all of them. And so it's a team effort. Get you some big, tall guys, versatile guys, and just because it's ugly this year, AJ, that don't mean it has to be ugly next year. So, man, just get on the plan. Get on the plan, work your plan, and find out what can I do to make this team better. They got some good talent. Add to your talent and turn everything around next year. This year is a wash. I mean, look, you have nothing to gain, AJ.
Right. No, I agree with that. I'd like to see Stephen Silas to have a full off season with, the same roster that he works out with in the off season, be, part of the roster when they start the season, unlike what happened with Harden and Westbrook and some of the other guys that are no longer here.
AJ, can we at least give Steve Silas 3 years?
Yeah, at least that. And let me just say this real quick. I'm concerned. Now I kind of get why Harden and Westbrook were concerned about the organization. When you look at, you lost your head coach, you lost your general manager, and these were longtime people with the organization. Then you lose Harden, then you lose Westbrook, and now you're losing Tad Brown, who was 15 seasons as the CEO of that organization. I'm kind of getting the feeling that Tillman Fertitta is trying to put his hands in this organization more than he should and clearly doesn't know what he's doing. So the folks with knowledge are trying to get the heck out of here before he sinks everybody.
Well, owners do that, AJ, and that's why a lot of teams don't really advance because the owners, you want to do too much. If you want to be the head coach, maybe you should apply for the head coach. You want to be the assistant coach, the general manager. Those are the positions that you probably should apply for. But being an owner, if you don't have a lot of basketball savvy, trust the people that you have in place. It's a team effort in whatever situation you're in, AJ. It's a team effort. One person cannot do it all. You need a team, a group of people, whether they be ladies or men, who knows about what they're doing. Experience is the best teacher. So when you can get all that in place, man, you can't do nothing but have success. That's how I look at it. But
man, you just said something though. Ferdinand Caller of the Year joining us here on Media Monday. If the Rockets really were serious about putting together a front office that knows what the heck they're doing, go out and get Cheryl Swoops. Go out and get Cheryl Swoops and let her have some hands-on involvement off the court and on the court. And again, stop playing these games with the good old boy network and your friends. And like Slim Thug said, you got people running these organizations who only doing it because their family had bread. And it's get some basketball people in here and let them rebuild this organization right.
AJ, I like to reflect on what has already been done. You have guys that came through Houston. They won championships here. They went and won championships other places. Why you can't go network with those guys, hire those guys, and let those guys come in and turn it around? One thing I learned about a guy in drag racing, AJ, he hired a guy. They were enemies. They did not get along. But what I got from that was he said, look, I'm not going to get in your way. I'm giving you the all go. He told it to the guy that didn't like it. He said, man, I'm going to give you all go. You call all the shots. I'm just the overseer. AJ, that guy won championships. Put your pride aside. If you want Houston to be better than it is, you got to get the guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just hope that Tillman Fertitta doesn't treat Stephen Silas like the Astros did Bo Porter, where they bring him in to rebuild and lose 100 some odd games, or in the case of the Rockets, lose 50 plus games. And then once you get rebuilt, then you bring somebody else in. If the Rockets do that to Steven Silas, I'm just telling you now, I'm done with the organization. I don't care who they bring in. I'm done.
But again, we've seen that repeatedly. You know, we've seen it repeatedly. It will never stop. Repeatedly, we've seen it. I can tell Steve Silas is it. Now, he didn't come here to really coach a catastrophe. He came here that he thought he was going to have structure. You knew the guys that you were thinking you was going to coach. They're not here. You can only coach with the talent you have. If you have 2-3 losing seasons, if they don't give him the help that he needs, man, look, keep your head up. You can't worry about things that you have absolutely no control over. Do your job, and sometimes you don't give him one opportunity. If this opportunity fails to him, I'm not mad at him. I appreciate him coming here, taking a job under what scrutiny that the Rockets is under. Because, I mean, some people, they wouldn't do it. But I just think that, man, look, remember, good love to Steve Silas. I hate he's in the situation, AJ, but, man, look, if you want championship, you surround yourself with championship people.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl Swoops won 4 of them, so that's a championship person right there. Appreciate you as always, Ferdinand. You be safe out there. Tell my sister I say hello.
Have a good one. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Ferdinand, caller of the year 2017. Always appreciate that, brother. First caller ever on this show. Never be taken away from him. All right. As I was listening to Ferdinand talking about Tillman Fertitta, is he the Jerry Jones of the NBA? And I'm not talking about with the 3 championships. I'm talking about an owner who literally does not know what the heck he's doing, but insists on being the guy to make the decisions because he owns it. And maybe Jerry Jones isn't the right comparison because Tillman Fertitta is not as outspoken and in the media camera view as Jerry Jones was. Maybe the Daniel Snyder of the NBA, where he really don't know what he's doing. But because he bought the team, he feels like he's got to be the one to make all the final decisions. Because it was like forever before Daniel Snyder brought in football people. It's like, dude, just because you were a fan growing up and just because you got a bunch of vintage jerseys and, by the way, you found yourself a billionaire with enough money to buy the team, it doesn't mean you know what you're doing. And I'm just telling you, man, I don't care how many businesses Tillman Fertitta went around the country saving on his reality TV show. Reality TV is not reality in life. You got cuts, you got edits, you got do-it-overs, you got creative licensing, you can embellish on some of the stories. I'm not saying that you can't learn the ins and outs of basketball, but like this ain't his only gig. He's still trying to figure out how to bounce back from losing all that money on his restaurants and hotels and those other establishments that he owns. And I just find it telling that you've got long-term basketball people jumping ship. Like Daryl Morey was like, listen, I don't even want to do basketball no more. I'm just going to sit with my kids. Daryl Morey is like, I ain't got no job, but I don't even want a basketball job right now with the Rockets. I just want to sit and look out the window at my kids playing. Now his kids are grown. I'm going to just sit out and watch my kids play until another basketball organization came along. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. Something's going on down there on La Branch. Something's going on. And I really feel like this guy don't know what he's doing. And we got to get out of here before he ruins it for everybody. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. So I just wonder, is Tillman Fertitta the NBA's version of a hybrid of Jerry Jones and Daniel Snyder. And as a result, you got folks who are just like, oh God, I don't do this. I can already tell you that the front office folks down there on Kirby, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. And I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful to my brothers and sisters in Christ. With the guy that they got down there as their executive, senior level, ownership box level prayer partner, and you can pray all you want to. That ain't going to change. That dude right there, he can pray till the hills come home. Cows come home. And that, I'm sorry. Y'all can be mad at me if you want to. Listen, pray for me. Just not with that guy holding hands. That's ridiculous. Cal McNair, Jack Easterby, and Nick Casario. That threesome right there, that ain't the Trinity. Man, that ain't the Trinity at all. In fact, if they get another person, they're closer to the four horsemen than they are to the Trinity. Just saying. Just saying. I think the entire city needs a reset. Seriously, I feel like the entire city needs a reset. Need a reset in ownership for the Rockets. Need a reset in ownership for the Texans. Astros, need a reset. Dusty Baker doing the best he can with what he has. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here. All right, I'm going to stop venting on the teams here, and then I'll come back with other stuff right here on the lunch break. Here's Sybil Wilkes and what you need to know today.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, April 26, 2021. Number 1. News of fatal police shootings has overwhelmed the headlines, highlighting a disturbing trend that has sparked protests and raised more questions than answers. One of the latest fatal shootings is that of Andrew Brown Jr. Brown was killed on the morning of April 21st as officers executed a search warrant in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Black leaders are calling for the release of body camera footage. 7 deputies have been placed on administrative leave, 2 have resigned, and 1 retired in the aftermath of this shooting. Number 2. The special election to fill the 2nd congressional seat vacated by Louisiana Representative Cedric Richmond has been filled. Louisiana State Senator Troy Carter defeated fellow State Senator Karen Carter Peterson in the Saturday runoff election for the only Democratic-held congressional seat in the state of Louisiana. Congressman-elect Carter will fill the remainder of the 2-year term won by Mr. Richmond in November before leaving Congress to work as a special advisor in the West Wing to President Joe Biden. Number 3, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 8.8 million Americans are behind on their rent. Although the federal pause on evictions has been extended to the end of June, many are still facing eviction. In addition to local programs, federal relief can provide assistance for a year or more of back rent, next month's rent, and some utilities. Read today's newsletter for federal aid resources. Number 4, Isaiah Brown, a 32-year-old black man, was shot by a Virginia sheriff's deputy after the same officer gave Brown a ride home. Brown called 911 during an argument with his brother, which was reported as a domestic incident by a dispatcher. Brown's second call resulted in him being shot 10 times by an officer. According to the Brown family attorney, the officer mistook a cordless house phone for a gun. Number 5, there have been renewed calls for national and local governments to act to ensure economic and financial safety for citizens. One path to achieving such financial stability is universal basic income, where governments would issue a guaranteed monthly check that meets basic human needs. Chicago aldermen and the Chicago Resilient Families Task Force have teamed up to explore a UBI trial that would give 1,000 selected residents $1,000 a month for a year and a half. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Show gratitude to the universe for being alive and smile. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with our social activist, Coy Malone, and funny men extraordinaire, Huggy Lowdown and Chris Paul, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, game is not over. That's this first hour on the books, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's our Media Monday. A lot went on this past weekend, and, I just trying to get to it all. Rockets losing streak up to 5 in a row after losing to the Clippers on Friday and Denver on Saturday. They now have the worst record in basketball. They're going to host Minnesota tomorrow at 8. Spurs edged out the New Orleans Pelicans 110-108 over the weekend. DeMar DeRozan, 32 points in the win. Zion Williamson still balling, 33 and 14 in the loss. Spurs will be at Washington tonight at 6. New Orleans is going to host the Clippers tonight at 7. Dallas will be at Sacramento tonight at 9. And then the Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Angels over the weekend, but lost 4-2 on yesterday. Ohtani hit a 445-feet homer to dead straight center field. That young man's exciting to watch. The Astros are going to host Seattle for the next 4, starting with Game 1 tonight at 7:10. The Rangers got swept by the White Sox, including an 8-4 loss yesterday. They're going to host the Angels tonight at 7:05. College football, it was Sam Houston beating Monmouth College 21-15 in round 1 of the FCS playoffs. FCS playoffs. Imagine that. If we had a true FBS playoffs instead of that junk that they got at the end of the year where they picked their, it's not even their 4 favorite teams. It's always going to be Clemson and Alabama and then 2 other teams. So the Clemson Invitational, the Bama Clemson Invitational. Trash. It's fun to watch, but as far as true playoff college football competition, the FCS has it right. Sam Houston State moves on to the next round. And then the first round of the NFL draft will be live from Cleveland this coming Thursday at 7 Central. The Jacksonville Jaguars will get it started with the first pick, unless they trade that away for some reason. Cowboys will pick at number 10, New Orleans at number 28, and the Houston Texans in the third round, round 67 or so. And this was pretty interesting news. Kim Mulkey, not my favorite women's college basketball coach, is leaving Baylor to take over at a similar school, similar in they got all kinds of scandals going on like Baylor had. She's going over to LSU to be the new women's basketball coach there. She, of course, is the winningest coach all time at Baylor, brought them, national championship prominence, and now she's going over to LSU to try and, I guess, do the same. Sean Lee, longtime Dallas Cowboy, calling it quits. He unfortunately couldn't stay healthy. Great player when he was in his prime and healthy, but it's been tough for Sean Lee. He is finally calling it quits. 11 seasons for Sean Lee. Wish him well. Of course, everyone is pontificating what's going to happen with the NFL draft on Thursday. All the talk is about the quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, is the guy. Everybody's saying that the young man out of BYU is going to be the second quarterback taken. Mac Jones is supposed to go number 3 to San Francisco. And now they're saying Trey Lance will be the number 4 quarterback taken. Young man who's played one season at North Dakota State. I'll just say this. If Justin Fields slides all the way down like that to where he's, still around for Carolina or New England or, some other team, Atlanta or some other team to get, that's just, okay, all right. I guess y'all forgot about 2017 with Mitchell Trubisky being the first quarterback, the one everybody wanted, Mitchell Trubisky, ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. I know everybody's still high on Baker Mayfield. He went number 1. I'll be honest, I would have had that quarterback class wrong. I thought Rosen was the better quarterback because I thought he was smart. I thought he was athletic. I thought his football IQ was high, Josh Rosen, but clearly I was wrong. In fact, if I had to regrade that class, Willie Gibson and Todd Malcolm and all you lovers of Baker Mayfield, y'all be mad at me because I'll go Josh Allen, number 1. I'll go Lamar Jackson, number 2. And then I'll go Baker Mayfield, number 3. Well, AJ, why do you have Josh Allen higher than Lamar Jackson? Well, Lamar Jackson won the league MVP, but I cannot overlook the fact that he has not led his team to a postseason victory. I can't overlook that. I want to, but I can't. It's significant enough to keep him out of the number 1 spot for me from that draft class. But I'm not giving it to Baker. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. Baker has been 2 up and 2 down. To me, Allen and Lamar have been more consistent. Heck, Allen is on the verge of creating a little mini I don't want to call them a dynasty because they ain't won nothing, but that Buffalo's going to be something to deal with, for a minute. The way he's fitting in that offense and that organization. So if I had to regrade those, everybody had either Baker or Sam Darnold as a top pick. I'm going Allen, Lamar, Baker. I guess I'll go Sam Darnold after that. And, Josh Rosen is sitting in somebody's, number 2 or number 3 spot holding the clipboard wearing a visor. So, I'm willing to admit I would have had that quarterback class all wrong. Yeah. Because I would have gone Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and then Josh Allen. That's what I would have gone back then. So I say all that to say, I don't see a clear-cut number one. I know everybody's Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence was going to Pittsburgh, if Trevor Lawrence was going to, I can't say New England. If it was New England of old, if Trevor Lawrence was going to New England, it'd be different. Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville or the Jets. Now, Trevor Lawrence is not, if Trevor Lawrence changes them from 4-win and 2-win teams and all that to a 12, 13, 14-win team, then guess what? I will come back and I will apologize. But everybody thinks that Trevor Lawrence is going to change the world in Jacksonville and with the Jets. Slow down a little bit. If he's going to a team where he doesn't have to win it by himself, he just, be himself, and they got a chance to kind of work him into the game and let the game come to him. Why you say Pittsburgh? Because Pittsburgh's got that kind of defense. They got that kind of head coach. They got that kind of environment. I mean, the Steelers just extended Mike Tomlin, and some folks are ready for Mike Tomlin to be fired. Now, mind you, the dude ain't never had a losing record. But some folks are ready to move on from him, and the organization's like, what are you talking about? Who's better than Mike Tomlin that's available? You put Trevor Lawrence in that environment, different. You put him in Jacksonville where he's got to try and win it himself. Jacksonville ain't Clemson. And I'm not saying Clemson is better than Jacksonville. I'm saying Clemson is a powerhouse. You got top flight players on almost every position on the field. Trevor Lawrence, all he had to do was not mess it up. If Trevor Lawrence has flaws and deficiencies in his game, they will get exposed with a team like Jacksonville. They would get exposed with a team like the Jets. So for me, there's no clear-cut number one. I hope Justin Fields ends up in New England. I wouldn't even be mad if Justin Fields ended up in Atlanta, and that's hard for me to say. I'm a Saints fan, not a Falcons fan. I don't want him in San Francisco. It might be a better situation for him, but Kyle Shanahan is still the guy that blew a 28-3 halftime lead against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. All right, let me take a break. I'll be right back with more after this.
Can I just tell my
Hello, this is Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President of the Communication Workers of America District 6. Trey and I are inviting you to listen in to our new political talk show, Power to the People Political Hour.
Hello, this is Trey Daniels from the Daniels Group. Yes, Claude, the show will be hard-hitting and informative, talking about national and local political issues of the day, week, and month. Interviews will be with pastors, community leaders, elected officials, and political operatives. You know, Claude, a part of our responsibility is informing the citizenry and give them power to the people.
That's right, Trey. We're asking that you listen in on 1140 AM, 92.3, or streaming on KYOKradio.org, Thursdays at 10 a.m.
You got to give the people time. Give the people what they want.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
The lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. I wasn't here for Freestyle Friday. Obviously, had a lot to do out in the community, but Media Monday, a lot happened over the weekend. I just ran it down to you, but we're talking about the NFL draft coming up on Thursday, 7 o'clock Central. It's going to last through Saturday. I think you got round one on Thursday night. Or is it 1 and 2 on Thursday night? I'll check it out. But then you got, some on Friday. And then I think you got rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday. And it goes quick on Saturday. They just, bang, 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 bang. You got to be ready to go. It's crazy. When's the last time the Texans had a first-round pick? When the last time they had that? I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Congratulations to Lindsay Edmonds. Lindsay Edmonds, former NC State women's basketball associate head coach, is now the 6th head coach in Rice Owl history. University made the news official this past Friday in a press release. Lindsay Edmonds stood out among a very talented pool in our coaching search. Athletic director Joe Carligard said, she has the experience and track record. We're looking forward to continue the recent success our program has built up. Everywhere Lindsay has coached, she has won. So we'll see. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to her. I'm excited about women's college basketball, especially the way it ended with the playoffs, the tournament. All right, hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is David A.J. What's happening, man?
David Baptiste. What's going on, brother? Like no other. How you feel, man?
Man, I'm slow boogie, man. Slow boogie.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Hey, man, I was listening to you about 15 minutes ago when you was talking about the Baylor's coach. Her son used to play baseball at LSU.
Oh, okay. I know she's a Louisiana person. I know. Didn't she play at La Tech when she was in college?
She did.
Yeah. I mean, I know she's a Louisiana girl, but again, to leave a program like Baylor that was as troubled as a school could possibly get, and then go to a school like LSU that's in so much trouble right now they can't see straight. That's a Kim Mulkey move right there. That's a Kim Mulkey move.
And AJ, I guess my thing was, why did the other coach resign? I guess because I hadn't really heard why she resigned.
Okay, so she is going to the front office with the Las Vegas team in the WNBA. She's going to a front office position. I don't know if she's going to be the head vice president of basketball operations, but she's going on up there with that type of position after resigning. I think she did 10 seasons at LSU.
Yeah. Okay. And AJ, you was talking about the Angels player, the two, like the pitcher and the batter. I don't want to screw his name.
Ohtani.
Yes, because earlier in the year he had the fastest pitch up to last week, and then he also had up to last week also home run wise, swing the speed of the bat. The guy from New York just beat him the other day. But yeah, so he had both of them for a while. For the year.
Yeah, what's crazy is he's young, man, 26, from Japan, and he's got 7 home runs. He's leading the majors in home runs right now. And like I said, that shot that he hit yesterday, 445 feet, was just gone. It was dead center field, and there was no doubt off the bat that thing was gone. And I just, like you said, he's a player in the field, plus he's a pitcher, and that bat speed and power are just unmatched.
And the thing about him, AJ, he broke down a couple of times. Like last year, he had to quit pitching for a while.
Right.
But, that's my thing is how much longer can he do this, flipping and flopping, what I'm saying, until he has to just really concentrate. Because I think if he just concentrates on the field, that's just like most players, like as they coming up, AJ, they can pitch and they can play the outfield. Kind of like Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
He did everything, but then once he's got on one single thing, he was on.
Yeah, and I agree with you. A lot of times coaches will try and, once they get to the higher levels, they cut one thing out versus the other. That just shows me how good this guy is to be in the majors doing that, because he is legit. A friend of mine, Kim Negrete, sent me a clip of a kid out of Florida that pitches both hands during the game. He pitches left-handed and right-handed during the game. He's got one of those universal gloves that you could put on either hand, and based on the batter, he declares himself as a left-handed or a right-handed pitcher right there in the middle of the game.
Wow. A lot of people don't know that's what happened with Billy Wagner. He had messed up his shoulder or his arm on the one side, and then after that, he switched over and started pitching on the other side and did even better.
David, stay right there. Let me take a quick break. I want to ask you something.
With your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK, 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire, located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, you want some sports with your lunch? Well, tune into the Lunch Break with KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's our Media Monday. Let me go back to one of my favorite guys in the whole wide world, David Baptiste. David, appreciate you holding on. Earlier, I was talking about needing an entire makeover with the Rockets. I would love to see them go ahead and get the number 1 pick in the draft. Cade Cunningham would definitely be a good addition to the team. But I also feel like the Texans need a complete makeover. The Astros need a complete makeover. I mean, you've been here a long time. This your town. What's your thoughts?
AJ, that's funny that you say that. I'll tell you about that one later. I was on a beach this past weekend. I was looking at some stuff, and I was like, okay, so the guy from Kentucky, he was going to be one of the top picks and all that kind of stuff. I really do think that they need somebody like the Rockets need somebody like Little Suggs, Gonzaga, and then work their way out and then try to rebuild that way with either free agency or something. The Texans, I don't really know, AJ. They're going to have to redo a lot on defense. I guess the last 10 years, they need to redo their defense when they still had a good team. But now you got some good key players on the team, but you still need some more, like some offensive linemen. And then, so, you're still kind of up in the air about the quarterback situation. And then with the Astros, you just got to go with it. You just got to roll the dice with them right now. You just got to roll with the dice.
Would you mind if they let Carlos Correa go? He wants over $300 million. Would you mind if they let him go and they just started over with, their next Carlos Correa?
Is he at the last year of his contract?
Yeah, he's in his final year.
I trade him. I trade him and try to get some good prospects and some players that could play this year, some pitching and some hitting, some young hitting.
Yeah, I wouldn't break my bank on Carlos Correa. I mean, this isn't the market where you can pay a guy $300-some-odd million. This ain't New York. This ain't the West Coast. Don't. To me, you don't tie up your entire organization in one player.
You don't, because if you notice, that's why they let Springer go, AJ. They knew I think they got enough full core in Corpus Christi right now that they could bring up and kind of like the nucleus they had in Corpus Christi and in Round Rock during that time, and then so bringing some of those players up.
Yeah, we got David Batiste joining us. He's a big-time sports fan. David knows high school sports like crazy. Talking about, do we need to just remake over all the teams here locally? Let's go back to the quarterback spot in for the Texans. I'm gonna keep saying this until I'm proven to be wrong. I think Deshaun Watson is done in Houston, no matter the outcome. If he is found innocent or settles these cases, I don't think he plays another down in Houston. Obviously, if he's found guilty of any or all of them, he's obviously done in Houston. And I don't think it's a bad thing for Deshaun to be done with this organization. I think this organization from the top to the bottom needs to be revamped.
And AJ, speaking of that, I'm going to tell you, so after all this stuff is clear, I have a real strong feeling of what's going to end up happening is I think somebody like Pittsburgh will trade their first two draft picks and then bring him in, because Ben, he's going to have at least, I'd say about 4 to 5 to 6 games that he's going to be suspended anyway, no matter what.
Yeah.
It didn't cause too much problems, whatever. And I see Big Ben breaking down. I see them trading for Big Ben. Or I have another thing that I see happening too. And the Pittsburgh Steelers don't never do this. And it's one of those things that I could see them trading up for Fields and getting Fields and letting him learn behind Big Ben.
I tell you what, I would love either one of those scenarios. And I know I hate to have to put all these disclaimers on there. I'm not minimizing women who are alleging sexual assault. I'm not, acting like it didn't happen. I believe that the women should be heard. They should have their day in court, or they should have their day in a forum where, they can receive justice and have things weighed out. Just putting that aside, just talking purely sports, though, innocent until proven guilty. I would love to see Deshaun in an organization like Pittsburgh under a guy like Mike Tomlin, under an organization where they're going to put athletes around him and not play the games that the Texans play. It took them forever to get an offensive line. Then they start trading away his weapons, his go-to players, his best friend, that kind of stuff. I would love to see Deshaun in an organization like that. Now, let's take Deshaun away. Justin Fields in Pittsburgh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Because if you notice, AJ, even when Chuck Noll was there, and the other coach that was there, I can't think of
Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher.
Yeah. If you ever notice, the Steelers organization the last 50 years, they've kind of just, other than like the early 80s, when Bradshaw and they got Malone, they kind of had that little hiccup right there. But then, if you notice, they kind of still kind of gradually like, hit the playoffs, get out the playoffs, hit the playoffs, get out the playoffs. When you watch them, those were current events that happened then and also are happening now.
Okay. All right. So you got me go check those out, brother. I appreciate you giving me the heads up.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one, man. Sorry I hadn't called in a while, man. Been holding on.
David, no, I understand, brother. And again, you and your family are constantly in my prayers, man. So you keep your head up, brother. Keep holding on, all right?
Yes, sir. Y'all too. You too, okay? Y'all take care. And congratulations with your son too, man, with the wedding and everything too.
Bruh, I'm telling you, I'm still on cloud nine about that. I called him and look, I'm asking him a bunch of questions like, so how is it? How's everything going? Everything like that. Like, chill out.
Yeah, he got it. He got it.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
man.
All right, brother.
Okay, bye-bye.
David Baptiste, good brother, man. Definitely a good brother. I'm telling you, man. That's the dude that. First of all, he messed it up for me when Delano had lost something. Delano lost something, and I was about to get some famous chicken and waffles from the California area, and then David messed it up. So ever since then, I've been like, man, if you want somebody to mess it up for you, David Baptiste is a dude. And then David found me in New Orleans when I was in town for a Saints game. I was sitting at a soul food vegan restaurant. And David walked in and sat down right next to me and was looking me in my ear hole. And man, I was like, oh my gosh, I got a squabble out here in New Orleans. And it proved to be David Baptiste. And man, I'm telling you, I've been in love with the dude ever since, man. He's a great, great guy. Y'all keep him in your prayers. And again, David, you can call anytime, man. I mean that sincerely. So, but anyway, I got a number of people who've texted me about my comments about the Rockets needing a makeover. AJ, not a lot of teams have been able to successfully rebuild in the draft. Look at how long it took the Clippers. Look at how long it took the 76ers. Not sure if the Rockets will be able to turn it around via the draft only. You're talking a player here, a player there. Rarely do you find two starters in one draft. I agree with you. And I think somebody, maybe it was Ferdinand, said, if you can, build your team with a draft pick and in free agency, and then I added, and then be able to develop the players around them. When you look at this roster, I mean, even DJ Wilson had a season high the other night with like 25. They've got some players. They just got to be able to keep that nucleus together and allow them to develop chemistry. I think everyone forgets that just because LeBron and Wade and Bosh and all the other guys were able to make it work in Miami, where they went to 4 straight NBA finals, that's not normally how it works. I mean, folks look at, James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. You're talking about the cream of the crop in the NBA. Those are 3 of the top 20 players in the league. Most teams need time to develop chemistry. And you've got young players that need to develop. Some part of their game needs to be developed offensively, defensively, how not to try to play, as John Wall adequately said it earlier in the season, we try to play AAU ball. You got to play team ball. Sure, there's nothing wrong with a guy getting a hot hand and everybody feeding the guy, but you still need the team to be on that same page. And this young Rockets squad, who has not been together long, that's what they need to develop in the offseason. And you add in a Cade Cunningham or, a top pick in the draft and, maybe some free agent guys who I would love to play in Houston. But I also agree with Ferdinand. You got to have some size. Small ball is fun until it's not. And when it's not, and you don't have any size to go to counter small ball, you're in trouble. You cannot teach size. If you look at the way Brooklyn is constructed, they got size and talent. The Lakers, size and talent. Phoenix, size and talent. 76ers. Miami, when they made their run, size and talent. So, again, Rocket fans, we haven't been here as a city in a long time where it was just straight rebuild. Hadn't been here in a long time. Especially rebuilding through the draft first and then through free agency. I mean, seriously, I want to go as far back as maybe what? When Barkley and Pippen and that group didn't work out, they literally had to bring in other people via free agency and drafts to rebuild this team. Stevie Francis, Cuttino Mobley, that was part of a rebuild. And then after that, Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming. And then after that, of course, James Harden and the fellas. It took drastic moves to rebuild this team. I'm not a fan of trying to do it all through free agency. Man, get some of these young guys in here that's hungry and that, have that basketball IQ and a coach that can, I like what Ferdinand says, it's not just all on one coach. Coaches that can develop. John Lucas can develop coaches. Players. John Lucas can develop players. Steven Silas can develop players. I say again, the Texans are going to have to rebuild. They're going to have to rebuild. They're not going to just trot out what they had out there last year and the year before that. Why should they? Those teams were not successful. They ought to be trying to do something different. Y'all, some fans got spoiled with the AFC South championships. There's a whole lot more on the other side of that ocean. It's like the movie Moana. You gotta get outside of the coral reef. You gotta go beyond the shoreline to find something better. Just satisfied with a bunch of AFC South titles. I wouldn't mind seeing the Texans just blow it all up and just try something different. Well, they technically did that with letting go Bill O'Brien, still bringing in Jack Easterby and Caserio and these other folks. I don't know. They need a front office makeover. And here's my question. If it doesn't work out this season with all that Nick Caserio did, Nick Caserio's made like 50, 60, 70 moves, a bunch of moves. If that doesn't work out, what do you do? How long do you give the Jack Easterby, Cal McNair, Nick Caserio trio? How long do you give them? Well, AJ, you give them 3 years. Do you? I don't know, man. I'm like Andre Johnson. Nothing good has happened with Jack Easterby involved. Since he's been in the building, more has gone wrong than right. And the Astros, again, don't pay Carlos Correa that money. Get him out of here. Let's go down to wherever the AAA, well, the AAA affiliate now is the Sugarland Skeeters, but get down in that minor league system and pull up some of that talent. Everybody keeps saying they got one of the best farm systems in the game. Let's see who's next. Pay Carlos Correa all that money. So that's my deal. That's my deal. I often ask the question, who's going to have the better record when it's all said and done, Cowboys or Texans? I think Cowboys will. I think they'll rebuild faster than the Texans will. Basketball, Rockets or Spurs or Mavericks, I still go Spurs. I'm sorry, I still go Mavericks first, Spurs second, Rockets third. I think the jury's still out on Rafael Stone. I like Stephen Silas as a head coach, but the jury's still out on him. So, anyway, let's look at the NBA standings as they are right now. NBA standings as they are right now. It's still up in the air. Brooklyn, number one in the East, followed by the 76ers, a game and a half back. Number 3, Milwaukee, 3.5 back. The Knicks, I just love it. I just love it for a lot of reasons. At number 4, the Hawks at number 5, good for Nate McMillan. The Celtics at number 6, Miami at number 7, Charlotte at number 8 right now. Over in the West, Utah holding on to that number 1 spot. They're 2 games up on Phoenix, 2 games up on the Clippers, who are number 3. Number 4, you got Denver. Number 5, the Lakers. Number 6, Dallas. Number 7, Portland. Number 8, Memphis. And right behind Memphis, you got the Spurs and Golden State. So that's basketball. We still got what? How many more games left? 61. So, yeah, 11 games left. About 11 games left. About 11 games left to play. A lot can happen. A lot can happen. So we'll see. Let me take a break. We'll come back and get ready to wrap this up right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. We know this is a hard time for you, and this fund has been set up by the federal government to help ease your pain. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. All legal fees are only covered once you receive your money. So if you've lost a loved one due to COVID-19, call the legal helpline right now to find out if you qualify for a cash award. Here's our number: 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. That's 800-876-7047. Paid for by the IPG Law Group.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we're giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
You're listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday. See what else is happening out here in the media. Southern Jags. I know some of y'all are not feeling too great right now. I know some of y'all are not feeling real great right now as Southern's head coach. Now, I guess I should call former basketball head coach has decided to leave and head on over to Norfolk State University. Let me try and pull it all together. Sports director over there at Southern was talking about the search for the new head coach as head coach Dawson Odoms resigned as the head coach last Tuesday to become the next head coach at Norfolk State. And there was a rumor that the head coach at Alabama A&M has interviewed for the Southern job. And the AD at Southern said, be careful what you read out there and what you believe out there, because that's just not true. And me and the queen of black college sports, black college experience, Keisha Kelly, were talking about it via text message today. There are people out there that just want to be first, even if they're not right. You can go ahead and say, oh, well, this is a fact that the head coach from Alabama and A&M has already interviewed for the Southern job, and it's just not fact. You don't always want to be first. You want to be right. That being said, Southern is a great job. Southern is not in rebuild mode. Southern's got a lot of returning players back. And, they were close to winning their side of the SWAC. If it wasn't for Pine Bluff on one side, and A&M on the other side, Southern was right there in the mix. So I say all that to say it's going to be very interesting to see who Southern brings in. What I hope they don't do, and this is going to sound contradictory to what I've said, I hope they don't just try and bring in a big name head coach to try and compete with recruiting with Jackson State. Obviously Jackson State having Deion Sanders puts them in kind of a different light. But what's clear is there are coaches in the HBCU ranks that can coach, even though they're not named Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders started off 3-0. He didn't finish undefeated. The great coaches in the HBCU ranks did their homework, did their due diligence, coached their players up. And, Deion Sanders is learning. This ain't no rinky-dink league, as the late, great Skipper Lee Frazier would say. So I hope that Southern doesn't just go grab a big-name person so that they can compete in recruiting with Jackson State. Southern is a great school, great program. Get the right coach and let that coach hit the recruiting trail. One of the things that the athletic director did say is it's a tough time because the spring season just ended and it's about to crank up real quick for the fall. I mean, they might have 90 days at best to get ready for fall ball. And you got to try and bring in a coach, get that coach on the recruiting trail. Oh, yeah, and have that coach implement their system before the start of the fall season. It's kind of tough. And, man, I would feel bad for Alabama A&M if they were to lose their head coach to Southern, and now they are on the clock for trying to find somebody in a short amount of time and get their system implemented. So it's all going to be interesting. I appreciate what Coach Odoms had to say on his way out the door. He gave a lot of love to the young men at Southern. And he really wished them well, sincerely. So, again, that's going to be interesting. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Alabama A&M playing in the SWAC championship game this week. I believe that game is going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. Of course, like the greatest said, Prairie View and Jackson State was canceled this past Saturday. Texas Southern and Arkansas Pine Bluff canceled this Saturday. Alabama A&M Mississippi Valley State canceled this past Saturday. CJ, Southern is a great school, sports and academics. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. The right coach will go into a great situation there. Right coach will go into a great situation there. So we'll be keeping an eye on this through, the great coverage by Keisha Kelly and Black College Experience, as well as other legitimate sources on HBCU athletics and football, not just the ones who want to be first. You know me, I'm committed to making sure we have good, accurate information. So there we go. There we go. All right. So I think I've gotten about everything covered that I'm going to cover today. Let me see if there's anything else. Again, it's blowing my mind that Justin Fields, who revealed to NFL executives that he's been dealing with epilepsy, but he's been controlling it by medicine. Didn't miss a game in college, didn't miss a game in high school, been controlling it with medicine. Now all of a sudden, he's sliding down the draft board. Now you got other former NFL players that dealt with epilepsy, and they had great careers. But all of a sudden, Justin Fields is a possible liability because of him. Keith Hennig just asked a good question. Why is Kevin Sumlin unemployed? Tell you what, now that wouldn't be a bad name to interview down there at Southern. You know, when you look at what Kevin Sumlin did at U of H, I think it got a little tougher on him at A&M, and Arizona was just not, whatever reason, the right fit. But Kevin Sumlin at Southern, I'd support that. I would definitely support that. Without a doubt. So, anyway, let's see. Anything else? Oh, the Falcons are reportedly getting calls about trading for Julio Jones. If I'm the Falcons, unless that's going to help them move up in the draft, I would wait till after the draft before I start talking about any Julio Jones trades. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Supposedly, Carolina is not looking for a quarterback. They're willing to go with Sam Darnold and what they've got. Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't know about Sam Darnold. I'm just going to tell you. I don't know about Sam Darnold. Teddy Bridgewater, tough year. Not going to take that away. But, man, folks get done with certain quarterbacks real fast. Real fast. I would have brought Bridgewater in there, put some weapons around him, and run it back one more time. And I guess technically they're going to give him a chance to compete for the starting job with Sam Darnold. I wouldn't just hand it to Sam Darnold. The Eagles reportedly are not just handing the starting job to Jalen Hurts. They're going to give Fitzpatrick a chance to start. All right. You just hand it to to Sam Darnold if you want. It'd be interesting. What's Washington going to do at quarterback? Who's the tentative quarterback at Washington? Am I getting these names mixed up? Let me see something real quick. Why do I not know who Washington's potential starter going to be? You get down here to Washington, see what they got at quarterback. Roster. QB. At quarterback for Washington, they got Kyle Allen. Oh, Fitzpatrick is there in Washington. Okay, I got you. And then, everybody's favorite, Taylor Heineke. So who's the other quarterback in Philly? Let me see. Roster quarterback. Somebody they just brought in said that they're Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco. That one. Yeah, Willie, thank you. I figured out I had it wrong. It didn't sound right coming out of my mouth. Yeah, Philly's going to give Joe Flacco a chance to start, compete for the starting job. Fitzy's going to have the starting job in Washington. I think they like Taylor Heineke, but please. Taylor Heineke is like a broke discount store brand version of Baker Mayfield for me. Is that bad? Did I say that? Is that wrong? Should I apologize? I don't feel like it. I think if you're Carolina, you're going into the offseason with Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. You don't name either one of them the starter yet. Let them legitimately compete. But who am I? Yeah, I can't tell Carolina how to fix their problems. I'm a Saints fan, so if they don't fix their problems, good for them. Good for them. All right, listen, let me get ready to get out of here. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here with her What You Need to Know Today. Tomorrow, of course, will be Team Texas Tuesday. We'll talk a lot about, what needs to happen there. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wash your hands, wear your mask, sanitize everything around you, be sensitive to everything around you. And when you see that racism, kill it, not the person, the racism. And by the way, stop killing unarmed Black people. Please. I don't know why I even have to say please. But anyway, we'll be right back tomorrow on the lunch break. Here's Sybil Wilkes.
It's Sybil Wilkes with What You Need to Know. Today is Monday, April 26, 2021. Number 1. News of fatal police shootings has overwhelmed the headlines, highlighting a disturbing trend that has sparked protests and raised more questions than answers. One of the latest fatal shootings is that of Andrew Brown Jr. Brown was killed on the morning of April 21st as officers executed a search warrant in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Black leaders are calling for the release of body camera footage. 7 deputies have been placed on administrative leave, 2 have resigned, and 1 retired in the aftermath of this shooting. Number 2. The special election to fill the 2nd congressional seat vacated by Louisiana Representative Cedric Richmond has been filled. Louisiana State Senator Troy Carter defeated fellow State Senator Karen Carter Peterson in the Saturday runoff election for the only Democratic-held congressional seat in the state of Louisiana. Congressman-elect Carter will fill the remainder of the 2-year term won by Mr. Richmond in November before leaving Congress to work as a special advisor in the West Wing to President Joe Biden. Number 3, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 8.8 million Americans are behind on their rent. Although the federal pause on evictions has been extended to the end of June, many are still facing eviction. In addition to local programs, federal relief can provide assistance for a year or more of back rent, next month's rent, and some utilities. Read today's newsletter for federal aid resources. Number 4, Isaiah Brown, a 32-year-old Black man, was shot by a Virginia sheriff's deputy after the same officer gave Brown a ride home. Brown called 911 during an argument with his brother, which was reported as a domestic incident by a dispatcher. Brown's second call resulted in him being shot 10 times by an officer. According to the Brown family attorney, the officer mistook a cordless house phone for a gun. Number 5, there have been renewed calls for national and local governments to act to ensure economic and financial safety for citizens. One path to achieving such financial stability is universal basic income, where governments would issue a guaranteed monthly check that meets basic human needs. Chicago aldermen and the Chicago Resilient Families Task Force have teamed up to explore a UBI trial that would give 1,000 selected residents $1,000 a month for a year and a half. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Show gratitude to the universe for being alive and smile. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with our social activist, Coy Malone, and funny men extraordinaire, Huggy Lowdown and Chris Paul, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. I know I definitely did. I enjoyed hanging out with y'all. Do me a favor, please, 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 please have a blessed and safe rest of your day. Not this, definitely this. I do. I love y'all. Y'all be good.